All right, so Flint striker, or fire steel. So I want to talk about some rocks here. We have here. This is granite for contrast. This is a chert. And this is quartz, a chunk of quartz. Now people talk about using flint with it. I don't think I've ever used actual flint because I don't think I've ever had any actual flint. Down here, what we have is chert. Chert's the best for my purposes down here. Now, they say you can also use quartz, and I've gotten a fire with it before, but the way that it fractures, first let's talk about fracture. All right, so if you can look right here and see how grainy that is, this is granite, and granite doesn't really get any sparks. You see. Now, as far as chert, you look right here, it usually has a crust that's kind of powdery, chalky, like that. You want to get past that stuff, which is kind of like, it's a sedimentary rock, so you want to get past that stuff and into the actual core of it, which ends up looking like this. Here's some that I've spalled off, and I'll show you the fracture of it. There's a piece that I like to use, actually. But if you'll see how smooth that is right there. If you've ever done any flint knapping, you know this stuff very well. Gives you a good sharp fracture right there. You can cut leather with that. I mean, that's sharp. See that little flake right there? You can cut with that. So I had something to cut. So, look at my pants. See that? That's how sharp it is. Yeah, that's a good little flake knife if you needed one. But this is good stuff for making sparks. You'll see. Maybe you can see that in the daylight. It throws good sparks. So that's chert. Like I said, it's got that chalky outer layer. Then you want to get into this inner stuff right here. It's also what you use for flint knapping around here. After you harden it, it flakes off really well. But really easy to get small flakes for skinning something or cutting meat or whatever you need it to in the wild. And this is a big chunk of quartz. You can see it's kind of a clear color. See right there where I fractured it off. It's kind of crystalline. It's clearish rock, and you can get sparks off it. I've just never gotten really good sparks off it. So, see right there. See it a little better. This is quartz. Let's see what it looks like when you throw some sparks. Yeah, gets pretty good sparks. Hardest part for me is usually these come in smaller pebbles around here, not big rocks like this. This one actually a friend of mine brought me from Canada. But it throws good sparks also. So quartz, chert. As far as flint, I couldn't tell you where to find it. But those are the two that are local down here in the southeast Alabama, Florida area. So there you go. There's some rocks. The next step, now we've got our steel and our striking stones, is to get some tinder. Get in close right here. This is a river birch. And this stuff right here is kind of resinous. It makes really good for putting into your tinder bundle. So I'm just going to gather some bits of this. It peels off readily like that. And then whenever you process it a little bit, it gets real fuzzy and furry like that. And all those little bits right there, resinous bits that if you have them in your tinder bundle will help it to ignite. So river birch, we have a lot of these down here. Not the same as the white birch you see up north. Just gonna gather some of this, then we'll gather a few other things to go with it. The thing you find down here a lot is palm trees. Like I said, we're in southeast Alabama, which is close to Florida. Actually, this makes a pretty good fireboard for spindle fires, from what I understand. But this stuff here, this little fur that you can pull out of here. Of course, this one's guarded by all these briars. This fur right here is really good for a tinder bundle. Really gets a good hot spot. That stuff there. So we'll take some of this. And you get it between the place where the frond connects with the tree. Let's see if I can find some more around here. But anyways, we'll get some of this and use it also for our tinder bundle. You can see how fibrous that is, and also whenever you process it out a little bit. These really small, fine fibers, which are really good.
Okay, so we're also going to gather a little bit of cedar bark. See the things here. These are common. There's an eastern cedar, and I think there's a western white cedar. All of the United States, pretty much, you can find these as long as you're not in like a xeric environment or something. But you see this bark here. Come in a little close. See how furry it is?
So it processes out very well. If you just do that, see how it just comes off? It's really fibrous. Doesn't really harm the tree, it's just the outer stuff. Here's some of these big bits. Now when harvesting this stuff, you really want to let it dry out if possible. Well, you really want to let it dry out, period. And if you can't, just lay it somewhere for a few days. I've heard that walking around with it on your body, like close to your body, inside of a shirt or something like that, as long as you're not sweaty and nasty, can help to dry it out in a shorter period of time. We're just going to gather some of this. Again, processes out into a furry bundle with tiny little fibers that'll catch a spark or catch the charcloth coal, and with some added air should burst into flame.